more than doubled since General Electric completed its three-way split back in April. The company hosted its investor update after yesterday's close of trading. I have to tell you, I was very excited about this presentation. GE Vernova CEO Scott Strazik is actually with us right now. First of all, congratulations. And yesterday was a tour de force because I realized when I first met you, I thought that this thing was, are you kidding me? Well, I felt so bad for you.
Come on.
And now, no, I felt bad for you because I was worried about the balance sheet. I didn't know how much kind of cash flow you could generate, and I knew that the company itself was poor. This division was poorly run. I want you to take people on the journey because the journey's short, but the win is big.
No question. I mean, in the last 9 months, we've really shifted from areas where we talk about market opportunity to market reality. Right. I mean, the reality is the world needs electricity right now and very, very well positioned to serve this market. We see it every day in both our grid and our gas businesses with a substantial increase in demand. At the exact same time, we're running the businesses better. You see that in the margin expansion in all three of our business segments. We're starting to generate a lot of cash. So the reality
is, talk about that because there was this. We generated $4 billion of cash in our first 9 months as a public company. I thought this was hemorrhaging cash.
You bet. $4 billion in the first 9 months. We'll end the year with $8 billion of cash. And we talked yesterday about the fact that we'll generate $14 billion of cash the next 4 years, and that's after investing $9 billion in innovating with research and development and CapEx to strengthen our footprint, especially in the U.S. for the market that's coming our way.
Now, let's just talk about demand for a second. There was a discussion about how backed up you are. I mean, you're about 60% of the market. I think you're working as fast as you can. You did say we don't want to pour new concrete. You do have the facilities.
That's right.
But don't you have to expand rather remarkably given what's going on in the data center?
Yes, and we're working hard to do that every day. I mean, for gas, that's in Greenville, South Carolina, and nuclear, that's in Wilmington, North Carolina. I mean, this is one of the areas where it's our history is a benefit for us.
You had 32 words on nuclear, right, when you talked about offshore wind. Why didn't you spend more time on nuclear yesterday?
Nuclear is very important. The reality is we have 65 plants in the U.S., 65 gigawatts running with our equipment today. We've got real opportunities to upgrade those plants and create new nuclear electrons this decade. We're working on that. Small modular reactor is going to play an incredibly important role next decade. We'll commission the first plant. 2032 in the U.S. is very practical.
We have uranium pieces running all day today. I want people to calm down. This is not. It's a reality. But one more question before I pass on. Did you get to read Ruth Porat's piece yesterday? A new approach to data center and clean energy growth from Google?
I'm familiar, but not the piece.
Why are they not calling you? They're doing this thing. They have Google, TPG Rise, Climate Partner, and Intersect Power. Where's GEV?
We're working with all these companies. We're working with all the hyperscalers right now. We work with TPG Rise. There's going to be a lot of solutions. There's going to be very much an all the above technology solutions. It's going to be a system of systems, and there's few companies better equipped to serve that complexity than Vernova. We'll do over $500 million, the only company.
$500 million in what? Sorry.
We'll do about $500 million of direct orders with the hyperscalers this year, primarily electrical equipment, transformers, switch gears to support those microgrids.
So that's like for behind the meter stuff?
That is supporting a lot of behind-the-meter electrical equipment, and the next step in this chapter is then the power generation that needs to
Well, a lot of them seem to be SMRs are a little ways away, so natural gas seems to be where a lot of them have to go, despite their carbon footprint commitments.
That's right, and we talked yesterday about the fact that we've taken 9 gigawatts of slot reservation agreements in the last 30 days for gas, very closely tied to the hyperscaler demand that's coming. So that is becoming reality. Now, with a lot of those customers, it'll be unabated gas this decade, but we also have very active discussions with them on how they decarbonize that gas over time. Carbon capture, hydrogen, both will play a role, but gas is going to play an incredibly important role this decade.
I keep hearing things about potential shortages for things like transformers. Is that a real conversation going on? I mean, are there concerns?
We're working hard to ramp up our capacity. The reality is most of our bidding activity today for transformers goes into 2028. So we're working to improve our cycle time to serve this market. 2028.
So you're working to improve your cycle time to do what?
To do more for this market because they'll take as many transformers as we can build.
They will.
No question.
I mean, is there anything that equates to this? Maybe the beginning of electricity?
I would say, listen, I'm a student of General Electric's history, right? And when you think about where we've been most impactful, think after World War II and the role that we played building out the electrical grid then, both the economy and really stabilizing the world. If you look at the load demand that we project the next 15 to 20 years, it's most analogous to that period of time.
What about policy risk? There's been a lot written about sort of classic NIMBY, municipal pushback to having something nearby. We don't know. Maybe you could tell us how you think this new administration thinks about wind in general. Is there policy risk there?
Well, when I hear the new administration talk, it's very much an all-of-the-above technology discussion. And the reality is GE Vernova is very well positioned to serve that all-of-the-above technology solution, whether it be wind, gas, nuclear, investing into the grid. We talk a lot about U.S. competitiveness and innovation, not just for the U.S., but frankly exporting that for the world, for economic development and peace. And we see real opportunities to serve this administration with all of those objectives.
You mentioned $9 billion in, I think it was CapEx and R&D over the next how many years? Is that going to be enough?
We may go higher than that. That's where we're starting right now. We're increasing our R&D next year 20% to serve this growing demand. We're increasing our CapEx budget. It could go higher. It'll go higher if the customer orders come through to fund the need to go higher with CapEx.
Well, natural gas has been up in the last few months, but would it ever make sense for a hyperscaler to actually buy a natural gas company, lock that price in, deal with you, and get everything done?
On many different solutions that they could use, but it's very clear for the economics of play for them and the data center build out, more power is critical. And we're going to have to look at many different alternatives to serve that growing market.
Do you ever sit back and say, wow, these guys just keep talking about renewable, and yet all they do is keep ordering natural gas?
We're having productive conversations with them to help them understand all the solutions that are practical this decade, and then how we work our way through decarbonizing those in the decades that follow.
Timing, man. Timing is very important. When you guys were planning this spin, when Cope was planning this spin, I don't think he had the whole AI data center thing in mind.
I said it point blank. I said, when you stop it with that could ever be investment grade, just stop it, Larry. He said, no, we could get lucky here. Lucky. Lucky's better than good, isn't it, Chief?
No lucky. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got an incredible opportunity to serve this market. We're going to keep getting better every day. That's the culture of continuous improvement, but I like our chances.